Your soul has a sovereignty, a rule, a manner of law, all the things that basically gives you the ability to be a safe, well guarded, and a, a country, and I relate it to the soul, but a country that is given, how can I put it, a lot of provision to accommodate its sovereignty. The more richer a country or a nation becomes, the more they can establish their sovereignty. You got the United States, you got the British sovereignty, you got now we got China has got a sovereignty, and all these other different parts of the world has a sovereignty. Nothing's without one thing doesn't lead to another. Everything's also connected. You as a personal soul, as a human being, have your own sovereignty, and within that rulership, you are either the one in charge or you allow yourself to be in charge of. Now, God Almighty places so much in the inner workings of everything that we can't change that. One of them is that everything does produce after its own kind. I repeat, everything produces after its own kind. So the more of a likeness that you are to the one who sets everything in motion in a well guarded and a well peaceful manner, the more you will have sovereignty by the Most High God. We lose our sovereignty. Some people, we lose it when we are born without it. When we have parents who basically lift the arena from us as human beings and says, I will control you. We will spend the rest of our lives seeking out other rulers to rule us. Because in the process of us being in a not functioning as a sovereign, a soul, other people will see you as not being. You don't have the rights to call yourself sovereign. So you're going to find yourself at some point or another being invaded by other souls. The same way it works with countries. Invasion has always been the concept of history. It is what makes other countries grow and expand, and whether or not they flex their muscles one way or another, they guaranteed a future for the generations that they would consider their the offspring of their sovereignty. When you are unable to live out your sovereignty, you will guaranteed be under international law. And what I mean by that is that your country will not have the borders established. So other peoples, and maybe have it happening today in the world, there's so many different cultures that are invading other sovereign nations, because even though it didn't work for them there, they're able to, by large masses, enter into these countries that had rule laws that they were mercy laws, right? By these laws that they established, they had no other choice but to give access to refugees and other people who came with their own sovereignty. The problem with their sovereignty is that their sovereignty was basically under the control of wickedness and evil, right? Darkness. When you seek out a sovereignty that's under the light, and you are very well acquainted with that you require, I should say, someone of a greater expanse to have leadership over your life. And the leadership that comes there is through the invisible laws by which we live our lives. The more you are under the control of, or the rulership of dignity and all the other mannerly qualities that makes up a sovereign nation and a respectable nation, you will eventually become sovereign because the Most High will be the sovereign guard and also the one who decides who enters your borders. It is extremely important in your soul's sovereignty that you have specific rules within the country, your country, everything that makes you up. And the rules that applies to you doesn't necessarily have to apply to others in respect that you are there to give away your resources or the treasures that you found on your land. See, we're living in a time, and it probably was always been throughout history, the more preservationist, the more preserving you are of the rule of the, I say the rules, but the the treasures of your country, the more you will have to establish borders, secure your land to keep it from the invasive ones who don't understand what sovereignty is. It goes as far as that you have to, and you will come to a point in your life that you will have to secure your borders from those who don't even understand what sovereignty is. See, for people out there, they have a life. It's a for all kind of thing. It's good for them, and it's also the free for all. That's where I'm going, and that what you have is free for the taking. Look, you will spend your life taking a lot of steps, and you're going to be paying a price for having the values of your sovereignty in motion. At whatever point in your life you're going to get that, it doesn't become a free for all anymore. And it's at some point one of the greatest initiatives that you will take in your life is to establish your sovereignty under God's rulership. That his laws are in your life and in your heart, and you are not about to give away anything that God is not going to give away to other people for nothing. When you pay a price for becoming a more unique and a more valuable human being, a soul, you are not free anymore. You're not free for the taking. So I trust this was somewhat of an encouragement and an inspiration. Your sovereignty matters in a major way because the Bible even says that the righteous, they establish themselves with a certain level of nobility and dignity that they cannot be touched. And that is what it comes down to. You have to, and you have no other choice to distinguish yourself. If you're a distinguished gentleman or a distinguished woman, you have all right to pump up your sovereignty and say that you're not free for the taking or the invasion. Have a good day.